Unbiased Trading here, and in this video, we're going to be going over my monthly review for March 2023. This month has flown by. To be honest, it was a pretty boring month for me, but let's kind of dive straight into it. So first is obviously the calendar overview. So this month, I'm up about 12.5 R. That isn't taking into account commission fees like locates. It's taking into account like general trade execution fees, but not locates. So I think after locates, it's about around 8 or 7.5 R or so, if I recall from my Excel spreadsheet. The reason I like showing you the TraderSync version is just it looks a lot prettier, and also I'm a really big supporter of TraderSync. I think they're an amazing way to speed up your journaling, and I still recommend having your own personal Excel one for some more, bigger details like locates, for example. But they really can save you a lot of time of just exporting all your trades from your broker straight into a nice platform. So as you can see, overall, the beginning of the month was, I would say, pretty average. We started off really nicely with a really good green streak for the first 2 weeks. I think the second week was a really good week for me. Overall, there was actually quite a lot of trades, and I was very happy that I was able to get 4 trades in through the week. And then, as you can see, the 20th to the 24th was completely dry. I just couldn't see, there was, just no trades really hit my scanners for my requirements, so there was just nothing for me to really see. So most of the time was me opening up the brokerage in the morning, and then just closing straight back down and doing something else for the rest of my day. That's why this month we're going to really kind of go over what else I've been focusing on instead of what general improvements I'm aiming for next month, as I don't really feel like there was much to analyze as much this month. Not to say that you shouldn't analyze anything if you haven't traded also throughout a month, but at least for me, at least for this video, I don't think I have anything very profound. There's very small things that I'm doing to adjust. Just as a big one I've been showing on my Twitter is focusing really on sleep. I've got up my sleep score to about 85%. I've seen some crazy ones. I know Systematic Trader, I think he gets like 93 or something. It's just ridiculous. But that's what I'm aiming for. At the moment, I've really helped with my sleep cycle. I've been optimizing the lights going down at about 1 a.m. I know that's probably quite late for a lot of people, but for me, it's kind of my natural time where I go to bed. So about 1 a.m. the lights go down. I'm in bed by 1:30, and then I normally, knock out of sleep by 2. Normally, I wake up then. I'm aiming for about 8 hours of sleep, but at the moment, I normally average about 6 to 7. With these small improvements recently, I've got up to about 7 hours and a half of sleep, but I definitely recommend looking into your sleep, and a Whoop band is a great one personally. I think it's about £200 for me for a whole year, so probably about $250. Definitely recommend it. 2 is the stats. So you can see we've got a pretty good win rate this month, about 71%. Definitely still on the higher side. I think recently the general market environment has been quite good for shorting overall. I know recently it's been very choppy for a lot of people, and overall trades, there's been a lot of reclaims, but I would still say overall, compared to a very hot market cycle where everything's just completely running, we haven't seen as much of that. And even this week we did see, I guess this is about previous month, but at least this week we saw 2 offerings in a single week, which was just ridiculous. So, especially coming into April, we'll see if we get an even higher win rate, but I think at the moment 71% is very good. My normal historical average would be about 65. So we are definitely trending up higher on that. But we'll see. Obviously, everything comes in shifts. So we're probably going to get a time where my winner drops down to 60, maybe even 50. But at the moment, it's pretty good. We had 6 consecutive wins, and we had 2 consecutive losses. To be honest, it wasn't much of a stressful month at all, at least in the amount of trades I was taking, and overall the amount of pressure I was going on a drawdown. So overall, it was a pretty good month. Now, I've also been showing a lot about my algo on Twitter. I do plan to do a bigger video on my algo, but I don't want to reveal everything just as yet, and especially because I'm tweaking it, and I don't think it's really perfect to share it to everyone. I know some people have been making jokes that it's a printing machine like the Fed, but at least in my perspective right now, it definitely isn't optimal. Obviously, I know one big thing is commissions in Twit. 2 is it takes a bit too many trades. There isn't enough filtering on it. But those are kind of battles I'll kind of continue with over the next couple of months of running that algo. Now this is a chart from Apex Trader. This shows you the daily P&L per day. So this isn't like a cumulative equity curve. This is just a daily P&L. So we can see the first day the algo went live. It was pretty rough. It was about minus 300, and that was after I think it was crazy. I think it was about a week and a bit of consecutive wins for the algo. And then obviously first day I turned it on a live account or a funded account. minus 300. But luckily we recovered it the next day. We made about 490 or so. And then it's slowly been trending. I think overall now for the first 8 days it's been running live, I think we've made about 1.2 or 1.3K. So overall, not too shabby at all. I do plan to try and upsize, but obviously it's a bit difficult as you have a trailing drawdown and all that kind of stuff. But at the moment, I think I'm going to keep it pretty consistent, and it's been very fun running this algo live. I have had questions about if I'd recommend funded accounts and all that kind of stuff. I would say it's a great place for testing. I wouldn't take them extremely seriously, especially when I was trying a lot of them where I was just experimenting with futures. It's just a very low capital requirement to kind of mess around. Now, I would say if you go into it thinking you're going to, get funded straight away and you can put on 10 lots and, take one lucky trade, that obviously isn't the mindset for any trader, and especially not for a funded account. But overall, you probably, at least from my estimations, you'll probably lose less money if you do a lot of evaluation accounts compared to if you just put, 3K, 5K into a futures broker. Now, I could be wrong for some people. At least for me, I know it was a better move to just go with a lot of evaluation accounts. When I was kind of testing out features, testing ideas, and then especially now when I've been running algos on them, it's been a great way to deploy them without having to put up too much capital up front. But I think, for one of my algos recently that I've been developing, I won't be able to run it on a funded or evaluation account just because it has too big of a drawdown really, and it's not as much of a consistent equity curve. However, the performance is still great. I just don't think it would be very possible. So you'll get those kind of nuances for each kind of strategy you look into. But definitely, if it is something you like, I wouldn't dismiss going for an evaluation account. Now, what have I been working on as this month has been, a bit slow? I wouldn't say it's been super slow, but at least for me, it has been a bit slow. One has been the backtesting bootcamp. We were very lucky. We sold out all the slots for the backtesting bootcamp. I've got already a lot of the material already prepared, but now it's just kind of going over, cleaning it up, maybe adding a couple more steps here and there to make sure it's very clean and understandable. And a lot of it, I've been putting a lot of time into creating just general frameworks. The backtesting bootcamp, the main goal is to really give you the skill of backtesting and some of the coding tools, so giving you templates and things like that. And a big part of it, what I've learned, is frameworks have been the biggest thing that have helped me. As individual advice will always be great, but there'll always need to be context. And frameworks, you can kind of fill in your context through that framework, and that can allow you to really understand a skill or be able to apply it. So that's what I've been really focusing on. I do plan to maybe release some more slots in April, so keep around for that. Feel free to message me if you are super interested, but I think it can be a great thing for people. It isn't something where I'm trying to teach you how to trade. I want to teach you the skill of backtesting, which I personally believe can be a great exponential growth factor in your trading, and especially as it has been for me. Next is the potential AI tools for traders. Now, I won't say a lot about this, but I've been working on an AI tool that I think a lot of traders are going to use it, personally. We'll see. It's been something where it lowers the barriers to entry on a particular skill, which will allow you to do it a lot more easily. Now, that's all I'll say for that, but yeah, keep in tune for that. Maybe it will be coming out in May also, depending on how long it takes me to get all the code done. But yeah, that's going to be very exciting. Next has been client algo projects. I've had actually quite a lot of algo projects recently for futures and equities. And that's been a lot of fun to see people's ideas really be turned into something they can just turn on and kind of leave. Now, I would say algos do come with their own problems. They aren't the money printing machine a lot of people think of them. There's a lot of nuances to them, and overall the idea of letting someone trade on your behalf can be very unsettling anyway. I kind of covered this on a previous topic, I think, of the video. But yeah, that's been a lot of fun, and if you're ever interested in algos, feel free to reach out to me. Lastly is I've been working on an algo project of mine, which is based on crude oil. I don't want to be overly saturated on just index markets like ES and NQ. So I'm trying to do stuff like gold, crude oil, things like that, and create strategies on those to have a bit more of a diversified portfolio of algos. Still creating it. I think it's going good at the moment, but overall, the price action is definitely a lot different to NQ and ES. There's a lot more things you have to really keep in mind. And I would say maybe market structure works a bit better on crude oil to some extent, or at least with maybe a bit less noise. So those are things I'm kind of paying attention to at the moment. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed, please like and share it with anyone else who might be interested. As I promised, next week we'll do a more in-depth topic. I'm planning to do one maybe about macro edge, which will give you kind of the overview of what it is and how I use it.